Some people just suck at video games.
Last player standing.
Elisabeth? Elisabeth? Elisabeth?
They might have the wrong in-game settings, bad mechanics, or maybe just the wrong mentality.
I am hard stuck silver 2 and I don't know who to main. Who would be the best main and how do I get out of silver 2? Listen to me, bro. I'm gonna give it to you straight. The agent, the character you're playing is not the problem. You are the problem.
So what's the solution? Well, luckily, coaching services have become widely available for basically every major esports title, from Valorant to Counter-Strike to League of Legends, the list goes on. But do these services actually work? Can coaching really make you better at a game? Or is it all just a waste of money? All right, so before we start talking about coaching services, I would like to remind you all to please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. That way you'll never miss an episode of Cracked. Okay, so coaching services have actually existed for quite some time and seem like they should be pretty uncontroversial. You find someone who's really good at a game, pay them for their services, they make you better at the game. What could go wrong? Hundreds of pros and content creators offer their expertise on coaching websites like Medify, but the pricing of some of these services is what's sparked quite a lot of debate. Some members of the community think that many coaches just aren't qualified, that their prices are too high given that they haven't proven themselves at a tier 1 level. Now, of course, there's a pretty wide range of experience amongst those offering coaching. Some are pros who have competed in tier 1 or tier 2 competitive play, while others are better known for content creation. And that is where the bulk of this discussion comes from. Should any Immortal or Radiant ranked player be able to charge whatever price they want? Can you get proper coaching from someone who isn't necessarily on a tier 1 VCT roster? Well, we at theScore Esports wanted to figure it out for ourselves. So we launched an investigation into said coaching services and tried to figure out whether they're actually worth the money, and whether some of us might be able to actually get good in the process. To start, we took 3 of our hosts, ranked bronze, gold, and diamond, and signed each of them up for some Valorant coaching sessions. Ravish has been playing since launch, and over the last 3 years has done quite a bit of Valorant casting.
They move right away. They don't want no peeks. They actually want zero smoke. They see a fire, they say, bet, I'm outie. I'm not no firefighter. Y'all can have that.
But despite all of his experience, Ravish remains bronze. He really wants to improve them.
I'm just not at the same level as many of the people that I play with, and I want to be able to help to contribute to the successes, right? I don't want people to have to feel like, oh, Ravish wants to play again, let's keep the bottom frag warm for him. I don't usually bottom frag, but still. And also with Primera, I do want to help, win with the team, right? Because who doesn't?
So Ravish primarily wanted to work on his aim and general game sense. And to help our boy out, we hired Roy, the former IGL of Renegades, Girl Kissers, and of course, Kitten Shelter. More recently, Roy has also appeared on many of Knight's broadcasts as an analyst for NA Challengers. For $35, Ravish did an hour-long live VOD review with Roy. He started by finding a sensitivity that better suited Ravish's playstyle. Then they focused on some Vandal recoil control before hopping into Team Deathmatch for a quick warm-up.
You know what, he's moving a bit too much. Okay, so see, that's my thing too, is because within like save rounds and things like that, it's like people feel so comfortable they're just kind of running and gunning. Yeah, running and gunning too, and like that's or just doing that. That's just happening.
Yeah, so one thing I've noticed with people that are a little bit lower ranks is you guys peek corners using like a diagonal line instead of like a straight line. Okay. So you want to make sure you're always peeking with A or D, okay? You don't want to be like pressing W or S when you're peeking anyone.
Okay. All right. No W.
It makes it a little like less favorable for you.
Okay. All right. That's a great note.
Roy also threw in a little pep talk to help Ravish with tilt.
Delusion is the best medicine in Valorant, okay? We're the best player in the server at all times. You hear me?
Okay. Yes, sir.
We go in with full confidence. Every fight we want to take, we're taking it with full confidence. No hesitation, no resistance, nothing. No mental resistance, no mental block.
Okay.
When it's time to fight, we're fighting. Everything's cool. We're the best player in the server at all times. Let's do this.
Interestingly, Ravish went into this whole thing thinking that he already had a pretty good mental, which is potentially a point in favor of coaching services, since experienced players tend to be able to see cracks in your game that you yourself might not be aware of. Afterwards, Ravish entered unrated, locked in Breach on Haven, and the two of them got to cooking.
You have to think of this A bomb site as like a two-piece bomb site, right?
Okay.
So there's like the front site and there's back site. You want to make sure you're giving util for the front site and also for the back site. So like you flash for him to get at the front site and then you give him another flash for the back site. So you want to make sure you're setting up your duelist like fully before you're like committing with without any doubt or anything like that.
Roy directed the session to be about playing with confidence, and then lo and behold, Rav did this.
I'm one of the highest added jets in the region, but it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Oh!
Woo!
Oh! He's in spawn now.
Did that go through?
Oh, baby. That was clean, bro.
I learned a lot in terms of fundamentals and agent specifics and just trying to be a better teammate overall, right? I wanted to hop into this being more confident the way I play, how to take better peeks, and just how to come out of it knowing how to take a gunfight at the end of the day, right? Because a lot of this for me, it's about learning fundamentals and being able to contribute more just as a player overall, right? And that's kind of what I was aiming for.
We'll come back to Ravish later on in the video, but for now, let's move on to a different host. Liz started playing Valorant back in January of 2021, shortly after she made the switch from console to PC gaming. She typically sits around gold and prides herself on her ability to keep her team's morale up and control the chaos that often ensues when they queue up together.
I'm holding this weird off angle. Until she flashes, then I'm leaving you to die, I'm sorry.
Person, you're literally the worst person I know. You're worse than Magoo by a lot. It's not even close.
Well, I think it's sort of the same thing of why do you have other people look at your papers, the outfits you wear, the text you send. Everyone always wants an extra eye on something. And in this situation, when you can have one of the best eyes the game has ever seen looking at your work, I think anyone would take that offer.
Liz really wanted to improve her shot calling. She's usually her team's IGL out of necessity and really wanted to hone that skill. To help her out, we hired Foe, the former IGL for Built by Gamers and Evil Geniuses. Liz decided to try his one-on-one live coaching and improvement plan for $20 for 1 hour. After giving Liz a bit of feedback on her mechanics in Team Deathmatch, Foe took her into Ranked and helped her tame the Gold Rabble.
So you want to make a statement in the form of a question.
Okay.
That's the idea. So let's say you see 3 rotate to A and you want to fake it. You say, there's 3A. Should we leave now? Which the answer is like, yeah, let's leave. You want to be manipulative. I know that sounds weird, but you do want to manipulate your ranked teammates.
Be a manipulator. Let's not go, because probably all rotated A. Should we try C hit?
Yeah.
Aha!
There you go. What did he say? Did he say yes?
Yeah, you went, yeah.
Whoa. Another point in favor of coaching. Just like Roy helped Ravish with his mental, these are soft skills that are hard to pick up on your own, and an experienced IGL can tell you what they've done in the past and pass that wisdom on to you. Speaking of, Liz's team lost control of the game in the second half, which ultimately resulted in their defeat. And this was when Foe also took time to talk about her mental.
Self-deprecation is like the worst thing you can do. And I say that, and I will also say the same things, right? You have to stop yourself from doing that when you notice it. Do not self-deprecate when you are attempting to go for improvement, because all you will do is create a false perception of negativity surrounding the experience, and then you will dislike it.
After a lengthy discussion about Liz's mental, Foe took her into a custom server and started offering additional tips, despite the fact that their hour-long session was technically over. This is something that he says he often does with his students as long as he doesn't have back-to-back sessions scheduled. Foe went the extra mile and showed us how some coaches really can teach you things you can't learn on your own. He even made Liz an entire improvement plan to reference as she kept playing. So at only $20, she definitely got her money's worth.
Foe's live feedback was really, really helpful, so I could learn in real time if I was doing great or not so great. But I think most importantly, Foe sitting me down and talking to me about my own mental game and not being so mean to myself is something that I really, really needed to hear.
Last up, we have Niall. Niall has played Valorant since the closed beta and is usually ranked mid-diamond.
So with the new season of Premier underway, I want to focus on the agents that I play with my team and learn more unique Jet and Cypher setups so that maybe this time we can actually make playoffs.
So to help him out, we hired Danny, the former assistant coach for Sentinels and G2. Niall chose to do an hour of server work with Danny for $40. They started off by jumping into a custom on Bind, where Niall plays Jet. So he showed off some of his defensive ops setups on both sites before Danny gave him some tips and new ideas for angles to hold.
If you're against a Viper, I do recommend, instead of playing top truck, sometimes you like jump up here.
Yeah.
And basically he's gonna have a Viper wall here, he's gonna have an orb here. So you're just like opping on top of all his util, you won't expect it. So the goal with this angle is basically you see where the Viper throws his orb from. He either throws it from market or like jungle side.
Okay.
Or he throws it from market, so left or right. And wherever he throws it from, you just hold that angle.
After that, they moved to Split, where they worked through Cypher cams and trips. Niall showcased his own before Danny helped him improve them.
By that time, let's say you have like 2 teammates in spawn, and they're smoked off like always here, right? They're always smoked off, and then you swing through,
so
they're
I
just
can
fighting
pop
a
this
war.
for the retake, so they can come.
Yeah, pop this, and they just flat out elbow. Okay. Now they have like a free path.
Now, Niall already had more skill and experience than our other test subjects, and because of that, his coach could focus more on helping him make small improvements and break some of his suboptimal habits.
My session with Danny was honestly great. He was professional, but still joked around with me and kept things digestible for someone of my skill level. And it was honestly really cool learning some of his old teammate Dapper's Cypher setups. That was probably my favorite part.
So all 3 of our hosts participated in vastly different coaching sessions. And now it's time to see what they thought about the overall experience. Did they think it was worth their money? Did it help them improve?
And now, the guy who actually knows what he's talking about.
All right, so we all did our coaching sessions a few weeks ago now, but how did you guys implement what you learned into your future matches?
So I learned a lot in terms of just fundamentals, agent specifics, and just trying to be more comfortable playing the game, taking gunfights, and I think I can now like peak a lot more effectively, contribute more to my team, and there's also a desire, I'd say, to just be better. Like something that I find I didn't have a ton of it before, and see how I can contribute more.
Yeah, I think for me, beyond the kind of basic essentials of, leveling up my Astra game that Foe was teaching me in terms of, setups, placements, put your wall here kind of thing. He definitely kind of had a wake-up call for me in terms of my mental being and kind of being my own worst critic. I definitely am a bully to myself, and I'm much rather than being critical, I'm just plain old mean to myself, and that doesn't help anyone. I'm a lot kinder to my teammates than I am to myself, and I am part of that team. And so definitely working on being kinder to myself. It definitely has been a struggle, honestly. I definitely am very used to being very, very mean, as I have just the way I've operated my entire life, kind of coming from an arts background. But yeah, it's definitely been a journey so far, and kind of applying that to my games. I definitely see when I do apply a more even neutral lens it changes the way I see myself in my gameplay. But what about you, Niall?
I was dashing all over sites, making space for the team, and even opping the first week of matches. And then on Split, I kind of just played like a rat and used some of my favorite defensive setups to lock down sections of the map. And then on attack, I was just throwing cages and just being a big rat. So all of us had pretty different sessions, but would you say that you got your money's worth? Do coaching services really work?
Yeah, I think they do. I think as far as long as you let them work. If you are going into a coaching session with the right mindset of I'm going to take the feedback that is given to me and apply it into my games and continue to apply it to my games, then yeah, absolutely they're going to work. But if you're going in, you're not ready to apply that feedback, you kind of aren't ready to take criticism, or you're just there to meet your fave, which you're allowed to do, then the purpose of coaching sessions for you to become a better player, that's most likely not going to happen. And again, you can do whatever you want with your money. It is your business. But I believe coaching sessions work when you actively participate in those coaching sessions, not just in that session, but afterwards and for a while afterwards.
Yeah, that's I think a huge point, right? Naturally, like you said, Niall, like they're freelancers. So you can go up and down in terms of those boards and just see exactly who's charging for what. If you only got $100 for 30 minutes, that's fine. If you only have $20 for an hour, that's also fine, because End of the day, there's a coach out there for you, whether it be a player, an XIGL, or whoever who is part of the scene, and they all charge very differently as well for different amounts of their times and different types of sessions too. That's the biggest thing. It doesn't have to be what I got or what Liz got or what you got, right? It's just about what you want, what you need, and hopefully there is someone out there that returns to you. Usually there is also in your price range too.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I got my money's worth. My premier team basically didn't have to worry about what I was doing because I was usually making the correct decision by copying a lot of the setups that Danny showed me. That just meant that our IGL didn't really have to micromanage me and could just focus on other things. I know a lot of these MetaFi coaches sometimes get memed on for some of their pricing, but I honestly feel like they should be able to charge what they want. They're freelancers, so they should know their own worth.
And that was the guy who actually knows what he's talking about.
So, do coaching sessions work? From our experience, the answer is yes. All three of our hosts felt like they improved after each of their sessions, and although the pricing for these services may vary, they all seemed to think that the cost was pretty reasonable in every case. Now, of course, we didn't choose some of the more expensive coaches because, quite honestly, we thought the pricing was a little steep. But, as Niall said, these coaches are freelancers. They should be able to charge whatever they think their sessions are worth. Ultimately, it's up to you to decide what you're willing to pay for coaching like this. And look, not everybody can afford to pay for one-on-one coaching with pros or content creators on MetaFi. You can still learn a lot of valuable things. Everyone has their own preferred learning style, and if you find that hands-on lessons are what work best for you, then getting coached could really help you improve. The price versus value debate may rage on, but we can certainly confirm that coaching works for us.
This is a Call of Duty.
Yeah, this okay. So they said AFK. Let's go confirm that's true.
Yeah, that's your spawn.
Oh. You know when you get turned around for some reason.
My man forgot he's on defense.